All right, Mark here, folks. Again, cooking the books, bringing the info. I'm just sitting here struggling with this. This is The Road to Reality, a complete guide to the laws of the universe, and it's written by Roger Penrose. You can see the name there, Roger Penrose. I'm not going to even make an attempt, all right? A feeble, not even a feeble attempt to try to explain any of this. This is some heavy, like, I mean, no, the book itself is heavy, but no pun intended, it's heavy stuff, right? Just really quick, briefly, it talks about, like Galileo's, it talks about, dissertations by Galileo, Plato, Aristotle, like all these great minds. And it's just, again, the laws of the universe, how the universe works. I'm not going to attempt, again, I haven't mastered it, so I don't want to make a fool of myself. you know but you will know once I've mastered it, because once I've mastered it, obviously you'll see me speak on it every now and then in these some of my videos. But I'm not going to even play myself and make sound like a bumbling idiot right now trying to explain some of this stuff. It's really fascinating. I love it. But anyway, if I was an old wise man sitting on the hill right now, and you came to me and said, "Old wise man, what life? Tell me something. What do you got to tell me, you old wise man? You with a long beard, right? A long beard and probably like a turban or something. Old wise man. I just like hiked it up this hill to see you. I need some advice on life. What is it? What talk to me." I would say, live in the moment. Now, that doesn't really sound like the best advice, because that's not mainstreamed advice, right? Live in the moment. That's actually frowned upon. In a lot of cases, that kind of advice, or that kind of psychology, or that kind of mentality is frowned upon. People project their nervousness on you. People project their anxiety. Like I said, if I've been on Wall Street 14, 15 years, and I've learned how to live in the present moment being down in that industry, because there's so much anxiety down in my field of work. There's so much tension, so much anxiety. The stock market is up, it's down, it vacillates. So you're caught in the vicissitudes of the stock market, and you end up, becoming the vicissitudes within yourself, right? And the vicissitudes, the vacillation and the vicissitudes within yourself as a result of the stock market. So I've learned how to live in the present moment, and people will project their anxieties on you. I have colleagues, associates, they can't, a lot of people cannot understand my calm, or my sense of calm, or my a certain way of being, because I've learned the best advice is to live in the present moment. Now, that advice, again, it's not mainstream. That's probably frowned upon, because it can be taken out of context, and people could misinterpret, misunderstand, mislead, and abuse that advice. That advice doesn't mean you're lazy, lethargic, you're carefree, reckless, make uh, life destructive, destroying the decisions. That's not what that means. That advice is simply telling you you're not promised tomorrow, and you're not promised this 5-year plan that you're planning on. It's telling you that advice means this. For instance, practically speaking, I'm in the midst of I've written four books already, and I'm publishing my fifth book right now. I'm in the midst of publishing it right now. Uh, I live I don't worry about how it's going to get paid for. I'm not worrying how many people are going to buy it. I'm not thinking about whether it's going to be a bestseller or no seller. I'm not thinking about, the Library of Congress, will they get back in touch in time with me with the copyrights? How am I going to pay for that? The whole cost of production. I'm not worrying about it. I'm not thinking about it. All I'm thinking about is writing the script, write the book, write the book. Just focus on my ideas, how I want my ideas to come out, what kind of ideas I'm going to convey, the tonality. I focus on the now, the things that I can control right now in the present moment. Uh, Again, it's not mainstream advice, because we're conditioned and taught, whether it's directly, indirectly, consciously, subconsciously, intentionally, unintentionally, all the adverbs that's out there. I think it's the adverbs, right, with the ly. It's the adverbs tell you how, right? So we're conditioned by these adverbs, right, of constantly by, make sure you have your retirement plan. right? Make sure that's conditioning for future events, right? Make sure you have life insurance, right? Again, future events, you're gonna die. Make sure you have a 6 month plan, this, that, we're constantly being told about how to prepare for the future, how to prepare for the future, how to prepare for the future, prepare for the future, prepare for blah, blah, blah. Constantly through our media, through our news, through our television, our family, our loved ones, constantly being told about preparing for the future, preparing for the future. And here's the reality: as the wise old man on the hill, I would say to you, you're not promised your future. You're not guaranteed your future. You don't even, I haven't studied the data and statistics, but there's actually a ratio that kind of predicts how long you're going to live, right? Depending on your source of income, whether you smoke or insurance companies use an algorithm, right? And all insurance companies, they have an algorithm and they can determine, okay, the likelihood of you making to this age is 10%, 20%, 30%, whatever, right? Corporations do it all the time, particularly insurance companies, because if they're going to insure you, they how long we gonna have to, pay? We're gonna collect the premium from him before he crashes or crashes and burn, and now we're gonna have to kick out this money. That's why they don't want to do what they talk about pre-existing conditions on that. But that's politics. I don't want to go down that route. The point I'm making is this: you're not promised tomorrow, and most of our anxieties and our worries come from us thinking, right, about some foreboding event, right? Something that's coming, something that is imminent, right? We're not 100% sure it's coming, but we just kind of worry about our future, right? Financially, especially our financial future, right? So we're always told to plan for our financial future, plan for this, plan for that. And I'm not discouraging that. Again, I'm in finance. So I that's part of my job. I tell people how to invest, where to go, where to park their capital, retirement plans, and so on and so forth, college plans, 529 plans, IRAs, Roth IRAs. I'm versed in all of that stuff. So I get it. But as the old wise man on the hill, I would say live in your moment. I've studied Marcus Aurelius, which was one of the last 5 emperors of Rome, powerful emperor, one of the greatest emperors of Rome. Marcus Aurelius Meditations, Epictetus, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, Epictetus, Seneca, philosopher. These are great philosophers, Greek philosophers. And Stoicism, that's one of their tenets: living in the moment, in the present. Live in your present moment, because again, a lot of us are either caught up in our future, right? And more than often, if you're concentrating on your future and your plan and and I'm not talking about, let me just say this. If you're constantly focused on your future, you're more or less going to be in a state of anxiety. You're more or less going to be in a state of worry. You're more or less going to be freaking out a little bit, because the future is so uncertain. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially right now with COVID-19 going around, like the future is extremely uncertain. Nothing is promised. Nothing is guaranteed. There is no guarantees in life. The only thing that's guaranteed is death. And so you're either living in your future about some coming event or coming attractions, or you're tied to something from your past. There's a soul tie, right? There's some psychological chain, some mental quantum entanglement, right? If you read anything about Max Planck, if you know anything about Max Planck, and he teaches on quantum entanglement, so you're entangled with something from your past. It could be a past relationship, a bad business deal, some money you just lost in the market, or bankruptcy proceedings that you just came out of. You're tied to something. I don't know, but whatever. So we're constantly vacillating between our past and our future. We're worrying about the future. We're dreading the future. We're pining about the past. We're apprehensive of our future. We are pining about the past. So between the past and the future, we miss our present. You see where I'm going? We miss the present. We miss what actually matters. The only thing that actually matters is the breath you're taking right now, because that is all that is real. Everything else is a figment of the imagination. It's illusory. It's an illusion. The future's an illusion. Your past is called the past for a reason. It's gone. You see what I'm saying? It's a check that's bounced. It's done. It's over. It crashed, burned. And your future again has not yet happened. So we dread something that is the imaginative world that hasn't even came to fruition, and we're tied to something that's gone. And at all the while missing out on what's right now, present. Practically again, I'm in the process of publishing my book. I don't worry about nothing, the know-hows. I don't worry about how many people going to buy, how many people read it. I don't think about any of that. All I think about is this present moment. What am I going to write? I'm not worrying about mortgage payment. I got a house. I'm not worrying about my mortgage. I'm not worrying about my car notes. I'm not worrying about my stocks. I'm not worrying about the economy. I'm not worrying about nothing. I'm not worrying about COVID-19. All I'm focusing on is what's my next paragraph, what's my next sentence, what's the next theme, title, where do I want to go with my writing? That's all, because this is all you have, the present moment. Tomorrow will take care of itself. But here's what I want to say about the future, because I do have goals. I do believe in setting goals. But here's what I want to say. Set your goal. Don't dread your goal. Don't worry about your goal. Don't try to see. I know, again, contrary to popular beliefs, right? This is totally contrary. I'm a contrarian. People will tell you to plan everything, leave nothing to chance. Plan your goals out to the very end. And I somewhat lean towards that, but I'm very reluctant. I reluctantly lean towards that because again, it can be very dangerous, right? You can take on too much, and you can take on too much and become cumbersome by something that again that has not you're not promised. You're here dreading and worrying and draining your energy for something that has not manifested, that you're not promised to see, while all the while again missing what you have, which is your present. So here's my take on the future though. Here's what I do believe. This is what I do believe. I stand on this. This is my square and I'm not moving. If I concentrate, consolidate, conserve all my mental faculties, all my psychological powers, prowess, and dexterity into this finite moment, because we're finite creatures, right? And we have finite time. We're not unlimited time. We're not infinite. If I can concentrate, consolidate, and conserve all my mental prowess, psychological dexterities into this present moment, and get my book done, for instance, I'm being practical, right? It doesn't have to be book. It could be whatever you're working on, whatever your goals, dreams, aspirations are. If I can put all of me into this present moment will blossom my tomorrow will blossom my next week will unfold my next month will expand my next year. You see what I'm saying? If you can learn to take all of your mental powers, your psychological prowess, your cognitive, your cognitive consciousness. If you could take all your cognitive consciousness and concentrate, conserve, and consolidate into your present moment will determine your future moments. So you don't ever have to worry about your future. As long as you're doing what you have to do today will manifest and express tomorrow. Figuratively, literally, metaphorically, allegorically, parabolically. I'm going to stop there. Peace.